Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man,
Hey y'all, hey, we are back for another review of All the Queen's Men. We're on season 3, episode 15, entitled Caught Slipping. At the end of the last episode, Madam was reminding Tandy that there's a lot riding on her and that she needs to get D.A. Ross out of there. Ross, Rocks, however you say it, up out of there. So that's what we pick up at the beginning of this episode. Tandy goes to see Madam after she told her, that she doesn't need to get rid of D.A. Ross. And Tandy tells Madam that she'll do whatever she wants her to do. It turns out whatever Madam said to her at the end of last episode must have shaken her up a little bit. And Madam reminds her that she has too much money riding on her, for her to be acting wishy-washy. She needs to get in line, and she needs to realize that you're doing what I tell you to do. This ain't a debate. I'm telling you what you need to be doing. So Tandy agrees, to have D.A. Ross fired as soon as she gets in office. And but she's unsure that she's going to win because they're ahead in the polls, but not by much. And so Madam reminds her, girl, with my endorsement, it's a sure shot. Don't worry about it. You just play your role and you get to live to see another day. So Madam knows for sure that she's going to win the election, especially after she does her endorsement. She also tells her, never come back to Eaton again. And Tandy's looking like, well, girl, why? I like coming here. Of course, she don't give that energy, but she said, she's like, well, what they got to do with anything? She's like, listen, it's not a good look for the mayor to be seen in here. So you're going to have to get your fix in-house. And that's just how it's going to have to be. And so Tandy appears to be on board. She appears to have gotten the message. However, when you hear her talk to D.A. Ross later in the episode, it's like she also has a plan going. And again, I feel like, Tandy, you're playing a dangerous game because you're deathly afraid of Madam. Or at least you're doing a very good job of pretending to be deathly afraid of Madam. Do you have the cojones? Because I feel like you're the one that took your husband up out of here, solidifying that he won't be recovering from his injuries. Or you just think you're just as bad a bee as Madam, and you're going to try to play these games and it's going to end up with your head on a silver platter. I don't know which one, but I don't know. We'll see. Of course, we're going to find out what happens, but I just think it's in your best interest to you are too deeply involved, and I also feel like you played in Madam's face 5 too many times, and all of your other associates didn't get that many chances, so you should consider yourself lucky and just do what you need to do because, girl, she don't give a damn about chopping nobody's head off, but whatever. We're going to move right along. Madam goes on the stage, while there's a packed house tonight, and she's going to give her her little speech, and she provides her public backing for Tandy. She knows that there's a lot of movers and shakers there in the building as well, and she asks the women, hey, Tandy has my vote, she has my support, so I'm going to ask the same of you ladies for Miss Tandy. And then Tandy gives a short little coy little speech about, thanking Madam for her support, and, we walk off with that. So, this thing is really moving along. D.A. Davis, I really want to insert the T-Pain song, the I'm Sprung song, because D.A. Davis is, just call her Serta, baby. She's a mattress. She is sprung for Doc. I don't know what type of pipe the man is laying, but I don't want no parts. D.A. Davis calls Doc. He is getting ready to go on stage. He's getting ready for work. And she's at the back door. She's like, Doc is like, well, why the hell did you call me? What's the problem? And she at the door, she got the itch. She fiending. She's like, listen, I just need a little bit more fix. I just need another dose right quick. I can't wait till you get out for work. It needs to happen right now. Just give me about 5-10 minutes in the car, and I'll be good. And Doc is very reluctant, which gives me the inclination Doc is not falling in love, as Madam would think later on in the episode. I just think he's caught up in playing the role that he's been assigned to play with D.A. Davis. And, he's kind of being torn in two directions. So I definitely don't think he's falling in love. I haven't seen Doc in love with anybody this entire 3 seasons, so I doubt that that's really the case. I just think he's kind of in a rock and a hard place type situation. Either way, while they're out there doing what needs to be done, Midnight walks out and sees them. And, I don't think Midnight knows the depths of what he was assigned to do with D.A. Davis. So, he's in his protect Madam mode. And he's like, well, what's going on? Why are you back here with this DA? And so, of course, he's going to go tell Madam, and we're going to have to address it. Champ and Trouble, Tweedledum and Dumber. They are talking about their connect, whoever the girl is or whatever. They give them the schedule for the money drop off at the stash house. That's going to be happening later on tonight once they get off. They realize that the guard that's on duty tonight, he's a larger man, he's a sleepy man, he's a much more susceptible, he's going to be easy to overpower, all that good stuff. He's lazy, and so they're going to make their move tonight so that they can be rich. Big D is outside of the room, and he's still eavesdropping on people. Well, I'm sure he's going to have to utilize that information at a later date. But Champ and Trouble, first of all, dumb. Why y'all talking about your robbery plan at the office, at the proverbial office? I don't really know, but again, these two are very dumb and very harebrained, and it's not going to work out for anybody, so whatever. All right, so Midnight confronts Doc about seeing him and D.A. Davis out back, and Doc says, listen, I'm just doing what Madam told me to do. She told me to, keep knocking her off in exchange for information, and which is okay, but the issue is you're not getting the information, you just doing the knocking off. And that's where we have a problem, because that's not your job. That's not your full job description at this point. Anyway, Midnight tells him, listen, you better not fall in love with her. Like, everybody just presumes that Doc is going to fall in love. And again, I don't know that to be his character in any of these seasons, but whatever. Doc, tells him that I got this. I'm doing my job. Trust me, I'm not falling in love. Whatever. And so they ask Babyface how things are going with him and Tandy. And he says that he is having the time of his life being a sugar baby. While Tandy's out, shaking babies and kissing hands, or shaking hands and kissing babies, whatever you want to call it. He is bringing girls in and out that lady's house to her little sex dungeon. And he says that the sex dungeon is taking his clientele up a notch, and he's able to charge them much more than he was ever able to charge them at his place. And so he's having the time of his life. They congratulate him and tell him, like, he might be the player of the year. Like, he is, Candy's paying him to be in-house booty, and he's also bringing booty in the house and charging them as well. So he's doing pretty good for himself. And considering, how he was at the end of the last episode, because keep in mind, you're still dodging a case. Remember the other lawyer lady that got pushed off the roof that's going to get tied back to you at some point. And if I don't remember if Madam is aware of that, I can't remember. I don't know if Madam knows, about the lady he pushed off the balcony, fell off the balcony or whatever at the party. But that'd be a good blackmail for him to keep him in line. But it's not going to be hard to keep Babyface in line. He's with the shits anyway, so whatever. Either way, he's doing good for now. I hate that he's doing better than everybody else because he's the least, I like him the least of all the guys, the men of Eden, but whatever. Champ and Trouble are back in the car, and the adrenaline is going. You've pulled off a heist. They don't show us, like some stuff is skipped, and this is one of those scenes again where I would have enjoyed seeing how it went down. Either way, Champ and Trouble back in the car. It appears that they have robbed the stash house, and they feel like they rich, they millionaires at this point. Champ is so brave that he is going off his adrenaline rush, and he's like, listen, we can quit the club and we could just rob banks for a living. And Trouble is a sound mind among the two, go figure. And she tells him, like, listen, not too much, you got too much dip on your chip. Now, we ain't doing that, let's just play this thing out, let's see how this, dust settles on this thing, and then we'll talk about what we need to talk about later. And so while they're talking, Trouble is getting her little usher on and realizing, like, listen, I done dropped my damn necklace at the heist. So here we go again with these half harebrained ass schemes. Champ also told her, like, listen, we would have got away, scot-free had you not fumbled and dropped the bag at the door, and the guard started shooting at the car. So now the car got bullet holes, you done dropped your necklace, and y'all think y'all got a career in bank heists? I doubt that very seriously. Either way, she's dropped her necklace, but by the end of the episode, that necklace is gonna come back very quickly, like in the same Is it the same night? Next night. Let's just go within 24 hours. The necklace is going to show up, and we don't like how it shows back up. All right, Blue is they're at Madam's house. It's Madam, Blue, and Tommy, and Blue is giving Tommy lessons on people unaliving knives, telling him, that unaliving knives are different from regular kitchen knives. The knife that you use to debone a chicken is not the same knives that you use to poke into people. I beg to differ, because I feel like chicken skin is very close to people's skin. It's just this weird thing I got in my mind. Whatever. Don't judge me about it. Either way, Madam reminds her, like, listen, we need this little refresher course because the concierge has been very, very quiet lately, and he might be, getting ready to bust a move. And when we get back to D.A. Davis, I will get back to my thoughts on that. Anyway, now we have to move on and learn about trigger points that can disarm somebody. And Tommy's like, yeah, let's just move on, because Tommy was demonstrating, and she was demonstrating on him, like putting the serrated knife to his actual jugular or whatever. And he was getting a little nervous, but this is the threesome, the trio, for a better term. She's not going to do anything to actually harm Tommy. So we got to brush up on our knife skills, because we got things to do. And we also learn in this scene that Blue has been with Madam for a much longer time, because I guess they used to do some of their petty crimes together, back on the block back in the day. And Tommy probably just showed up and proved himself to be her left hand, whatever. So Tommy has known Madam the longest, if that means anything to anybody. All right. D.A. Ross goes to Tandy, because Tandy has been dodging her calls. She been, hitting the little Kim. She ain't been answering. And Tandy tells her, like, listen, we got to stay low key for a while. Like, the block is hot. We can't be seen together. People might start making assumptions about our relationship, and that, set my radars off, because, girl, what are y'all outside of just homegirls? I don't know. Maybe I missed something. Either way, D.A. Ross thinks that Tandy is making promises behind her back, to Madam, to other people, and she's worried about where her loyalties now lie. Which, reasonable assumption, because, girl, you were banking on Tandy, not knowing that Tandy and Madam already have an allegiance, but whatever. Tandy tells her, like, listen, just fall back. We got to play this thing smart. I'll be in contact with you, I'll call you, don't call me type of conversation. And that this part is what further confused me, because I'm like, girl, is Tandy in charge of the girls? I don't know, because I just feel like Tandy is playing both sides of the fence. Or is she just keeping D.A. Ross at bay until she can fire her? I don't know. But because she's already, in the last episode, she was campaigning for D.A. Ross, saying like, hey, to Madam, saying, hey, we should keep her on, because I can control her. She could do what I say. And Madam's like, listen, I don't need her to do what you say. I need you to do what I say. And she's not an asset to me and what I need done, so I need her fired. Right? But it's like Tandy's trying to hang on to her. And I don't know if it's just enough until the campaign is over and then she can fire her, or is she just going to try to double cross Madam or try to play both sides. I don't know. But both sides of the fence ain't really where you want to be. But it's Tandy. It's like she always got to, like, she do this little double dutch thing where she jump back in and jump back out, as far as it comes to, like, poking her chest out to Madam and then having to dossel that down and tuck that tail. It's just a whole thing that she goes through back and forth when it comes to dealing with Madam. Again, you don't have that luxury, because you pretty much on strike 7 with Madam. So I think you would want to play it safe, but what do I know? All right. Fuego and Amp are working out, and he tells Fuego that he only cleaned up his life to get Dime back, and now she doesn't even want him back, because everything got out with her going to visit him last night. Now everybody thinks they're back together. Babyface spread the rumor, and now she thinks that she can't trust Amp because he didn't do anything to stand up for her and try to kill the rumor. Girl, I don't give a damn. It's just, I'm sick of Dime and her pink hair and her lack of dance moves. It's pissing me off. Whatever. Anyway, and Fuego tells him, like, listen. Well, no, Amp tells Fuego, like, listen, it makes me not want to keep up the good work. And Fuego, being the kind, sweet, motivational person that he is, tells him, like, listen, you should not you should still keep up with the work that you're putting in order to be a better person. Even if Dom does not, come back to you, you should still want to work on being a better version of yourself. So very sound advice. Wasted on broken people, but very good advice. I just want Fuego to just be able to get out and go get his Oprah on and, be a motivational speaker and all these things, because he is way too gentle to be able to thrive in this environment. Unfortunately, he's in too deep, so it's never going to happen. Moving right along. Champ and Trouble are counting the spoils of their most recent heist. And they have about $500,000 that they were able to get. So, they're moving on up. I think they got about $20,000 to $30,000 from Tandy, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, they had to give that back at the orders of Madam. But this time they got away with $500K. Now, they robbed a stash house. And the stash house belonged to a local gang. What I'm willing to bet is that the gang that they robbed are the what's the name? The Black Bottom Boys, if I'm not mistaken, which is a gang that Madam inherited from her daddy, with his whole acting and escaping and all that good stuff that he had going on. So Madam is in charge of the gang. So essentially you robbed Madam. That's my guess. And that's just gonna be it for y'all. That's just gonna be it for Champ and Trouble if that is the case. Either way, Rashawn knocks on the door because Madam has put his bill up, and he tells him like this: I'm gonna just go ahead and head back to the club tonight so I can try to pay Madam her money back. And again, Rashawn just clueless as to the way that the world works. Like, I don't know how old he is, but he's given like 18 or 19 in his thought process. It's like he act like a child. But I also know he's from like Mississippi, or a very small town, probably very inexperienced with the world and all this good stuff. Either way, Trouble reminds him, like, you don't have to pay her back. All you have to do is show up to court, when that time comes. And if you do that, then her bail is going to be released back to her. She's going to get her money back. And he's like, for real? Oh, okay, cool. I can do that. Either way, I need to keep myself busy, so I'm going to still show back up to work. He also tells him that he feels guilty about Jack, and he ain't really meant to kill that guy. And I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, you didn't kill him. You injured him. You put him in the position, but I doubt that he died as a result of Rashawn's action. It's going to be hard to determine because, again, I feel like somebody helped him on, ushered Jack on off the planet, but whatever. Trouble advises him to plead not guilty, whatever. He feels like his life has gone to hell because when he left good old Mississippi and decided he wanted to be a stripper man, right? His grandma told him that his life was going to go to hell in a handbasket, and he feels like that has come into fruition, but just because his grandma said it, just because he ended up working at the club. And I guess if you say so, but the lesson in that is you ushered that. It's like you made that statement true. Like your grandma said it, like, oh, you a stripper down there in Atlanta. Oh, your life gonna go to hell. Your life ain't gonna be good at all. And it's like you made that come to true by way of your actions. Like you going to Tandy and getting sodomized and all those other different things was a result of your actions. You going to the robbery and ending up beating Jack damn near to death was a result of your actions. So you made your grandma's prophecy or whatever you want to call it over your life true, which, with you saying that in this moment lets me know like that was probably in the back of your head, the whole time that you were working there. But whatever. That's just my thoughts on it. Sometimes we can make people's thoughts of our lives become true by our actions, like kind of subconsciously type thing. That's just me. Either way, Casanova and D.A. Ross are talking, and he says that his investigation has come to a standstill. He hasn't come up with no new information. And he tells her, like, listen, Tandy also might not be a sure shot, like they once thought she was, because, she ain't been responsive lately. Like, she being real weird. So we gonna have to come up with some alternate planning. Because, again, they were banking on Tandy, and that might not be as sure as they once thought it was. All right. Ciao. D.A. Davis shows up to the club with the little bit of money that she has left, and she's trying to buy Doc, child. She is at the club. Mind you, you're still a DA. You ain't been fired just yet. I think you're on suspension or whatever. I think she's still a cop. Not really quite sure about that. Either way, even if she's not a cop, she was gung-ho, much like how DA Ross is currently. She was just as gung-ho about taking Madam down. Now she's in here, child, with her bandage dress and her half up, half down hairstyle, with her money thrown in that Doc. She's all over him. She might even be a little drunk. Like, I don't know if she's drunk or she's drunk in love. Either way, she's all over him. She is, like I said, sprung as hell. And, Doc and Madam witnesses these two interacting, out on the floor. And Madam is like, she tells Blue, like, go get Doc and bring him to my office, because what is going on? And Madam wants to know, like, hey, what's going on between you and D.A. Davis? Like, this ain't what I told you to do. And Doc is like, I'm doing what you assigned me to do. Knock her off and exchange your information. And so Madam is like, well, has she given you any information lately? No. When is the last time she gave up any information? I don't know. It's been a minute. How many times have you seen her this week? 3, maybe 4 times. And then she tells him, like, listen, I feel like you catching feelings, my boy. And he's like, nah, that's not it at all. I got caught up, but I'm still on the job. I'm absolutely not catching feelings. And I don't think he's catching feelings. I just think she's convenient booty. Like, she just keeps throwing the thing at him. And, he's a bit of a nympho. He's like, listen, I'm going to go ahead and take what's being offered to me. But, because immediately he's always intent on, like, getting her out of there, throwing her out the next day. Like, he's not leading her on by any means. But whatever. She tells him, like, listen, you off the case. I'm going to handle her from now on. Don't worry about it. And he's like, all right. That's what you want to do? Cool. Like, he don't feel no ways about it, which tells me he was not truly catching feelings. Whatever. All right. Someone has left a gift for Trouble at the bar. And Blue, goes to Trouble to give her said gift. And Blue is like, listen, I'm not Western Union. I'm not UPS. I'm not no delivery truck. No delivery driver. Don't be having me dropping off no gifts or whatever. And Blue's like, not Blue. Trouble's like, I wasn't expecting no deliveries, but who dropped it off? We have no idea. Somebody just left it up front. It is the necklace that she dropped off at the robbery, that she dropped during the commission of the robbery last night. So that tells her, this is a threat. That means they know exactly where her and Champ work and how to find them. So your $1 million heist, well, $500,000, but y'all thought y'all, ran the phone and plug like millionaires. Either way, your half-brained heist has not gone off well. Like, within 24 hours, they figured out where you work, probably where you live, who you committed the crime with, who the necklace belonged to. All of that has been figured out in less than 24 hours. So congratulations and nice knowing you. All right, so Madam tells D.A. Davis, like, listen, get your ass in here. I need to talk to you next. And I saw you out there on the floor tonight, and you appear to be enjoying yourself. You having a good time? And she like, girl, yes. You got a fine establishment, like, geeked up. Like, the girl is none the wiser that you're about to get fired. Anyway, she was like, Madam was like, do you have any information for me? She was like, no, not yet, but I'm working on it. Just give me a little bit more time. And Madam's like, the same way that you working on Doc. And she claims, like, listen, my work has not been affected at all. Me and Doc just got a connection, which, girl, it's a one-sided connection. Either way, she reminds her that Doc, so Madam tells her, like, listen, you do know that Doc was only sleeping with me because I told him to in order to get information out of you, because I own him and I also own you. He did what I told him to do. And D.A. Davis goes, she is feeling herself, girl. She goes as far to accuse Madam of wanting Doc for herself. She says, listen, we both doing the job. We both doing what you told us to do. Why do you care about, what we're doing outside of that? Are you trying to keep it for yourself? And child, Madam couldn't be bothered with the accusation. Girl, please. Madam tells her, listen, don't even worry about it. I don't want you to see Doc anymore. And your services are no longer needed. In her Shawnee O'Neal voice, she's like, listen, thank you for your services. Thanks, but no thanks. Goodbye. You've been dismissed. And just a little change you brought here, which should take you because you're going to need it. You're no longer on my payroll. So in one night, you've undone all of your work and all that. Now, my question to you guys, let's talk about it in the comments, is did D.A. Davis actually have any actual information, or was she lying just so she could stay in good with Doc? Not by, by way of being in a relationship, but by way of having access to the pipe that he was laying. Because she did say, oh, I have people on the concierge and he has a flight, he has flight plans and all these different things that she proclaimed to be true about concierge. I wonder if she made it up, because she just keeps saying, I got people on it, I got people on it, I got people on it. And, that's the only information that she was able to come up with. Was that information made up just so she could, stay on the payroll and stay, with access to Doc? I wonder. Because maybe did Madam fire her in haste, knowing, I don't know. I feel like Madam really didn't even need her. She was just throwing her a bone. Sure. But I don't know how she's going to be able to keep tabs on concierge now. But if D.A. Davis's information was fabricated, then you did her no favors anyway. I don't know. Anyway, Trouble and Champ have tipped out for the night, and they are headed to their cars. Granted, midnight, Babyface and Doc had already left ahead of them, and, everybody's just kind of disintegrating. And while Champ and Trouble are standing there, a white van, is it a white van or a black van? I think it's a black van. Might have been the same damn van that tried to get Fuego. I don't know. I feel like that was a black van. Can't remember. Either way, a white van pulls up and grabs Trouble and Champ and drags their ass on the inside and hauls ass. Midnight, Babyface and Doc are standing there, and they saw that, and they are left, their jaws on the ground, wondering what the actual is going on. And that is my sentiments exactly. I don't know who has kidnapped Trouble and Champ. Could be, Madam, because she has figured out that they have robbed her stash house. Don't really know, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. Either way, that has been this week's episode. That has been season 3, episode 15 of All the Queen's Men. Let me know what you think about the episode in the comments. Like, comment, share, subscribe, or whatever it is that you feel like doing. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.